back to our channel where we provide updates and undisclosed narratives on the royal family. We provide you with the exciting news, no offers. Harry plots UK return as Meghan's desperate acting comeback sparks. Palace panic, royal watchers, industry experts, and the press have commented on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's career trajectories and long-term residence decisions after recent events. Prince Harry's carefully calibrated public pronouncements about his life in the U.S. and Meghan Markle's reported negotiations to return to acting have been seen as signs of diverging objectives. According to media reporting and discussion, these tales have heightened monarchy-related worries. The couple's media initiatives and business collaborations, strained relationship with the royal family, and attempts to establish a public persona in Hollywood and elsewhere are being seen as part of a larger tale. Recent emphasis has focused on linguistic nuance, how a single word or phrase may indicate purpose, commitment, or strategy. Prince Harry's recent comments have sparked discussion about whether the pair would move to the UK. The prince said he currently resides in the United States in a public interview, which some analysts saw as a temporary statement. In senior royal journalism, linguistic subtleties like currently have been interpreted as implying that Harry's U.S. residency is temporary. Rob Shooter, a pundit and former royal correspondent, said that the prince's words had alarmed Buckingham Palace. Shooter wrote on his platform, "Naughty but nice Rob," that one single word has royal aides sweating through their tailored jackets, and that the choice of the word was neither accidental nor innocent. He quoted a former courtier as saying Harry could have said, "I live in America," but that currently implies temporariness. These readings show how even little word hedges may be meaningful when spoken by prominent personalities tied to a national institution. From linguistic to legal and practical ramifications, tabloid and broadsheet journalists have increasingly focused on Harry's residence. He has not sought citizenship as a U.S. citizen, a choice some analysts say was purposeful. Journalistic sources show that being a naturalized American would entail legal and symbolic trade-offs that might affect his public identity. Naturalization may affect his royal titles and allegiance, and some stories have focused on fiscal consequences, such as the fact that American citizens are taxed on their worldwide income, which can have serious consequences for those with international assets. Harry's immigration and financial arrangements, which may include an O-1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement, may offer greater flexibility or tax advantages than full citizenship. Famous people may live and work in the U.S. on an O-1 visa without the long-term burdens of citizenship. A high-profile foreign individual may use temporary employment visas to stay mobile without taking an oath of allegiance or fulfilling tax and civic duties. Journalistic coverage has typically framed these views as educated conjecture rather than actual reporting on his immigration papers, but the fact remains resident status may have legal and performative ramifications. Visas, citizenship, and travel decisions may impact taxes, public benefits, and public perception of a prominent figure's origins and affiliations. Complex technicalities surround their legal ramifications. U.S. citizens pay taxes on all income, unlike UK nationals. Tax system bases tax obligation on residency and domicile. The statutory residence test, which considers days spent in the UK and ties, may establish if someone is a UK citizen. Tax resident. The difference might be important monetarily and administratively for cross-border earners. Residence and nationality may affect eligibility for national health services, inheritance tax systems, and public fund access, among other legal issues. These contrasts include practical preparation and symbolic messaging about one's future life for a prominent person with significant worldwide incomes, brand relationships, and charity commitments. Beyond legality, some observers believe Harry's frequent UK trips are pragmatic and romantic. According to royal analyst Tash and others, the excursions may be tied to residence requirements that impact tax payments, allowance eligibility, or other bureaucratic limits. Tax residence inheritance law and other regulatory frameworks in Britain can depend on the number of days spent in the country and the nature of one's ties there. Although headlines sometimes oversimplify travel and domicile decisions can have measurable consequences. The prince's links to Britain are emotional, founded in family and tradition, and functional frequent visits may be needed to maintain legal statuses or meet benefits or inheritance laws. Whether correct, the interpretation shows how public leaders' private decisions frequently collide with complicated regulatory regimes. The Sussexes' relationship with the royal family is changing, raising doubts about residence and future intentions. After King Charles III's health issues were revealed, several sites suggested that the monarch's circle and the Sussexes had resumed informal contact. Many unsubstantiated reports imply a cautious reunion, although the Sussexes are apparently concerned about the monarchy's future under Prince William. According to media reports, the Sussex camp believes that William may restrict the couple's royal style or rescind titles as he gains more power. One senior source cited by various outlets said Harry sees which way the wind is blowing and that the Sussexes are recalculating. These comments suggest that Harry may be preparing for a return to a more formal role in the UK if circumstances change. This calculation is complicated by constitutional and cultural factors. The British monarchy makes judgments regarding styles, titles, and public duties in a stable and media-watched environment. The palace must balance the Sussexes' public objectives with its coherence. Precedent and the sovereign and senior working royals' preferences shape title use, royal styles, and household administration. When the Sussexes resigned in 2020, public announcements stated that they would no longer use her Royal Highness in official capacities and would repay security-related expenses, leaving many interpretive questions about future arrangements. Any step toward deeper public participation with the royal family would need the Sussexes to negotiate titles, obligations, emotional reconciliation, and public message. To re-establish trust with palace officials and manage public expectations, reconciliation may involve prolonged private diplomacy and carefully orchestrated public exchanges. Any reunion, whether a public appearance, a formal dinner, or joint philanthropic activity, would be carefully arranged by advisors on both sides, evaluating the potential for favorable publicity against the danger of resurrecting old wounds. The Duke of Sussex's return to Britain confronts widespread opposition. In the years after the pair retired from major royal roles, they have caused controversy via high-profile media comments, according to political and media commentators. The pair's 2021 Oprah Winfrey interview, 2022 Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan, and 2023 memoir Spare featured claims and confessions that many Brits believe damaged the monarchy's image. These testimonies included allegations of institutional racism, neglect, and public criticism of royal family members. Analysts say these efforts have affected public attitude, especially in monarchy-supporting UK groups, and that recovering confidence or acceptability would be a political and cultural fight. According to observers, Harry's interventions have exacerbated divisions within the institution at a sensitive time, most notably during Queen Elizabeth II's final years, and his subsequent criticisms of his father and brother have made reconciliation even more difficult. Commentators say conventional monarchists and neutral people are unlikely to welcome him back, even if some may still consider him as Princess Diana's son. Critics see his recent pleasant statements about Britain and its banter as a planned effort to recover his cheeky, chappy reputation. If the Duke wants to return to public life in Britain, he would need official discussions, potentially legislative amendments, and a rigorous reputational rehabilitation effort. Here, reputational repair is multifaceted. It would need real private apologies or reconciliatory discussions, public tone and conduct changes, and a willingness to participate in official activities without dominating coverage. As an institution, the palace must avoid setting precedents that could encourage other members of the extended family to seek similar hybrid arrangements, working royals with independent commercial lives that could conflict with personal enterprises. Thus, each accommodation would be judged on its institutional effects as well as its individual benefits. Meghan Markle's rumored professional choices reflect re-engagement with the American entertainment industry, unlike Harry's links to Britain. Multiple media sources say the Duchess will portray herself in a Hollywood film in a cameo. This would be a major change from Meghan's previous public stance. Before her marriage, she retired from acting to accept her royal duties, calling it a new chapter rather than a loss of her career. Before her royal relationship, Meghan was best known for playing Rachel Zane on the 9-season legal drama Suits. Her screen time was 138 minutes, spanning 7 seasons, according to data analysis. Some critics have used that statistic to infer that her position, although culturally identifiable, may have been simpler than lead implies in terms of screen time. Before Suits, she had lesser parts in television and movies, and appeared briefly as a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, an often-cited story in biographical studies that highlights her broad pre-royal media background. Hollywood casting and career observers note that moving from recurring television roles to sustained cinematic leading roles, or a fully renewed dramatic career, often requires visible industry momentum, representation auditioning, and a willingness to re-enter a competitive casting culture. A cameo, especially one in which she plays herself, relies more on notoriety than talent, and may serve as a public reminder of visibility rather than a genuine display of an actor's versatility. Casting directors, agents, and producers assess such factors when opting to invest in an actor's bigger arcs. Meghan, whose job choices and royal affiliation limited her on-screen output for years, might test industry response with a cameo without committing to a long production timeline. Meghan's alleged comeback to acting has been seen as a full-circle moment, an effort to return to territories she left behind while becoming a royal. After unsuccessful business and media efforts, YouTube pundit Tash urged a return to familiar sectors. The resurrection of her lifestyle site, The TIG, the launch and marketing of American Riviera Orchard, and a new Instagram account are among those efforts. In commercial terms, Tash and others have suggested that cameo appearances and lifestyle goods are ways to preserve money and exposure, despite professional challenges. The cameo was called a quick cash injection by one commentator who joked, "It's just a matter of time before she'll be begging for her deal back, on Deal or No Deal, to contrast it with a full-throttle Hollywood comeback." The purported appearance has raised questions about what constitutes a meaningful acting comeback. In film and television, playing oneself in a brief cameo can add verisimilitude or leverage celebrity status, but it is different from being cast in a multifaceted, dramatic role that requires an extended performance arc and rehearsal process. Critics say a cameo, particularly one in which Meghan appears as herself, should not be taken as a career restart. The public typically distinguishes between acting as a trade and using a public presence as a branding tool, and cameos have distinct creative and professional consequences than main roles. Some casting directors thought her most famous film character in Suits resembled her real-life demeanor, raising issues about her breadth as a performer. The film's portrayal of Meghan Markle, the worldwide humanitarian and public personality, or the Duchess of Sussex, a British royal, is another subject of intrigue. Even in fiction, royal connections may have reputational and ethical issues, and some have claimed that highlighting royal titles in commercial entertainment would draw criticism and discussion. Separate evidence shows Hollywood's interest for meetings with the Sussexes has decreased. A Page 6 New York Post piece cited unidentified Hollywood insiders who said the couple's Los Angeles professional reputation had plummeted. The couple had worn through the industry's goodwill and became less welcome in American entertainment circles, the essay said. Unnamed sources told the article that Prince Harry arrived late to a Netflix meeting and requested a cup of hot chocolate, a story Vanity Fair had previously reported about Spotify. Meghan is convinced she's smarter than everyone and can be dismissive according to the sources, and she controls most of the couple's professional relationship, Page 6 said. The relevance of an American media claiming the couple's Hollywood possibilities goes beyond the tales. The Duke and Duchess often blame British tabloid press for their harsh treatment. Critical reporting from the American media sector, which the pair has aggressively courted for new professions and alliances, suggests their professional issues may be systemic. Thus, the Page 6 article suggested that their problems are not unique to Britain, but also exist in the field they want to pursue. Following that piece, several commenters suggested Meghan's supposed acting declaration was a planned clapback to counter claims that Hollywood chances are drying up. Modern media define a clapback as a defensive or assertive public move to undermine a critical narrative. In this reading, the announcement signaled that offers were still forthcoming and that the Duchess could secure entertainment industry roles. If organized, this answer would fit a larger public relations strategy to manage narratives and maintain marketability. More generally, the Sussexes have had mixed experiences with big content partnerships with major platforms in recent years. Their multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify were publicly reported, raising expectations for original content. In practice, results have been inconsistent. The Spotify cooperation terminated in 2023 after producing just one famous podcast, Archetypes, which was debated. Meghan's archetypes, which examined stereotypes and cultural assumptions, featured high-profile interviews and sparked discourse. But the cooperation ended early due to a mutual reassessment of priorities. Harry and Meghan, a Netflix docu-series, was popular and profitable, but Netflix programming has not followed suit. Industry observers and Hollywood insiders often point to the intensive labor, logistical complexity, and sustained creative investment required for consistent content production. The Sussexes' measured pace has led to speculation that they may have underestimated the demands of content creation and production at the scale their deals originally implied. Analysts say celebrity-driven project expectations are a problem. Deals with large platforms generally need a content pipeline, creative teams, and the capacity to adapt to audience numbers and editorial demands. A famous couple like the Sussexes has a high-profile brand and worldwide platform, so partners anticipate headline-grabbing launches and a regular schedule of engaging content, including documentaries, series, podcasts, shorts, and more. Commentary on whether the Sussexes' media endeavors have provided value over time has focused on the gap between expectations and execution. The pair competes for headlines, deals, and narrative dominance with the royal family and sometimes each other, according to these studies. Meghan's big business announcements have coincided with other royal activities, leading claims that she is trying to divert public attention. Meghan launched American Riviera Orchard on the same day as the Diana Legacy Awards, which Prince William and Prince Harry really cared about. Meghan's business launch dominated media attention during the occasion, even though Harry was virtually there. Her acting comeback reportedly emerged when Prince William was promoting his Earthshot Prize, an environmental project he launched. Critics believe these coincidences are meant to detract from other royals' efforts by injecting a rival narrative into the news cycle. Commentators have portrayed the pair as having competing goals due to this trend. Critics say Meghan's activities are motivated by a desire to maintain high exposure and business momentum, which have often eclipsed royal obligations. Some criticism has been particularly harsh, calling Meghan a narcissist through and through, arguing that her professional choices are reactive rather than long-term. According to such comments, two high-profile characters are pulling in radically opposite directions, causing private difficulty in the marriage and public bewilderment or dissatisfaction among royal supporters and the media. Countering these tales, couple supporters and impartial observers note to practical and economic factors that influence their decisions. In light of the loss of royal support and the necessity to maintain high-cost security, charitable objectives, and family life, keeping several professional identities and multiple revenue sources is sensible. Advocates say the pair's public ventures, advocacy, content creation, and branded goods use their platform to promote mental health, veterans issues, and social justice while securing their family's financial future. Meghan brands American Riviera Orchard, a lifestyle company that sells artisanal jams, jellies, and other gourmet items. The brand's original influencer campaign included a restricted group of social media influencers and friends unpacking and reviewing strawberry jam jars. Modern direct-to-consumer marketing uses social evidence and lifestyle framing to establish premium product desirability. Therefore, influencers are often seeded for organic promotion. Oprah Winfrey famously commented about the jam on her social media, which may have been a major endorsement. According to press stories, marketing experts say the media ecosystem is far more fractured than it was at Oprah's peak impact. Today, specialized micro-influencers in focused community interaction turn attention into continuous purchases better than one-time public figure postings, especially for higher-priced handcrafted items. Some critics questioned whether a little jar of jam at a premium price would find a huge market, and if the brand's aspirational posture would restrict its appeal. American Riviera Orchard's advertising was also scrutinized. A 53-second spiced tea tutorial was criticized on social media. The footage, which showed Meghan steeping a tea bag in heated water, adding honey and a cinnamon stick, was criticized for being basic and promoting an aspirational lifestyle that some viewers found inauthentic. The video became a test case for contemporary brand reception, with supporters seeing it as consistent with a premium lifestyle-oriented approach and detractors seeing it as tone-deaf or unrelatable. Social media responses criticized its overly curated aesthetic and breathy delivery. Whether the criticism is a result of poor message or a vociferous internet response, the event highlights the hazards of advertising expensive lifestyle items in a divided media landscape. Celebrities have developed food and home companies leveraging high-profile endorsements, limited-run releases, and visual narrative to build desirability like American Riviera Orchard. More than initial hype, this market demands ongoing availability, powerful distribution channels, strong retail partnerships or e-commerce infrastructure, constant product quality, and good customer service. The balance between authenticity and ambition is delicate. Customers value authenticity and relatability, and social media criticism may swiftly follow a product that seems pricey or divorced from real-world requirements. Prince Harry's long-standing influence in the military and veteran groups runs alongside the couple's entrepreneurial ventures. Maybe his most famous charity effort was the Invictus Games, which he established. The worldwide adaptive sports tournament for wounded, disabled, and ill-service members and veterans has been lauded for its inclusiveness and awareness of military challenges. The Games have drawn athletes from dozens of nations, boosted media interest, and allowed participants to share their recovery and perseverance tales. Harry's support of veteran issues and public accounts have been contentious. His memoir Spare included military details that former commanders and troops criticized. His admission of a kill count from Afghanistan was particularly sensitive. Critics argued that publicly disclosing such details violates an unwritten code among service members regarding combat-related information and could have operational repercussions for working troops. Some saw the memoir's claims of preferential treatment to escape drug tests as weakening military justice and discipline. Harry was called an embarrassment to the military services community after these discoveries, despite the respect many still give him for his concrete achievements. The prince's supporters argue that his public openness raises critical concerns about culture, mental health, and institutional conduct, and that his advocacy for veterans has given former military members genuine chances and platforms. His charity activities and personal networks have helped marginalized causes get attention and funding. The balance between using military credentials for advocacy and alienating the military community is delicate, and observers note that high-profile figures who discuss sensitive operational details often face backlash from those who served with them. One theme emerges from Harry's residency decisions and familial negotiations. Meghan's career pivots and brand initiatives, the couple's mixed entertainment industry performance, and the public reactions these moves elicit. The Sussexes are at a crucial and uncertain inflection point. Prince Harry's currently in his residency declaration may be transitory, contingent, or purposely flexible as he balances personal choice, family responsibilities, and legal or financial repercussions. Meghan Markle's apparent re-engagement with acting and lifestyle brand growth reflect a desire to cement her place in American celebrity culture and commerce, even as detractors doubt their creative and economic merits. Both people face a turbulent media climate where news cycles are unrelenting, and their acts are viewed as strategic plays in a public chess game. The couple's high-profile collaborations with Netflix and Spotify, their ventures into branded products and short-form entertainment, and their continuing intrusions into royal family narratives have generated an image of two public people with overlapping but often separate objectives. Commentators debate whether the dichotomy indicates a purposeful diversity of options, an organic progression of individual desires, or internal mismatch. The issue of how British public opinion will react to the Sussexes' return to the UK remains unanswered. Personal diplomacy, clear message, and patience may be needed to reconcile with the institution they departed, as well as unsolved grudges and ingrained views on both sides. The couple's U.S. business paths are also shaped by industries, entertainment, publishing, branded consumer goods that need consistent output, real contact with target audiences, and quality content. Public discussion on these issues affects commercial offerings to the Sussexes and how media platforms and marketers evaluate them. Hollywood insiders may limit high-profile offers if they believe the pair has exhausted industry goodwill. However, Meghan's appearance and sponsored activities may appeal with viewers, or Prince Harry's support may revive her career in various ways. From product unboxings to royal family dynamics, the media shapes the market's desire for cooperation and investment. In summary, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are former working royals with a global public profile, commercial entrepreneurs seeking relevance in a volatile market, and cultural figures whose personal narratives intersect with institutional questions about the monarchy's modern role. Prince Harry's vague residency statements and rumors about a return to Britain are linked to title succession and family relations concerns. Meghan's alleged return to acting and the establishment of American Riviera Orchard show her aim to becoming an American star and businesswoman. The couple's mixed Hollywood reaction and media criticism show the limitations of shifting from royal life to entertainment and brand management. Their roots are widely monitored because they represent numerous modern tensions: the negotiation of private life under public scrutiny, the marketing of personal story, and the complicated relationship between national institutions and global notoriety. Given the pair's diverse activities and aspirations, the central question remains, will one or both reintegrate into British public life, reinvent American cultural industries, or form a hybrid arrangement that defies categorization? For now, palace officials, military veterans, Hollywood execs, and common citizens will study, dissect, and argue their judgments, public pronouncements, and reception. That debate and the Sussexes' next steps will determine whether they can reconcile institutionally and succeed in the market, or whether they will remain emblematic of the unresolved tensions that arise when private lives become commodified public narratives. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts, and goodbye for now.